All right, so Dark and Darker. Uh, Painfully hard, also incredible and rewarding at times. It is the number one game that I've been playing as of late. It's my biggest time sink. I'm really, really enjoying it. I am not good by any measurable analytic. I am hot garbage. But my perspective is the only way to improve is to try. So this video is something that I've pieced together. This was a really lucky streak that I had. Six or seven games in a row where I managed to get the exfil. I start out in game 1 through 5. It's just going to be your regular Goblin Cave dungeon. This is game 1. I cut out most of it. Most of these games, I'm not gonna lie, they're rat runs. Like I said, I'm not good, so I'm playing with no honor and sneaking around, sludging through the dungeon, and just trying to get a little bit of gold, some schmeckles, put some coin in my pocket, move on to the next big thing. Eventually, when I feel comfortable about navigating the dungeons, my map knowledge is a little bit better, I will definitely start taking on PvP. I understand the only way to really get the most out of this game is if you engage in PvP. Unfortunately, I'm just not ready for that point yet. I'm getting slapped around, I'm getting absolutely ragdolled. I mean, even here, you see this silly little goblin. I'm doing the whole peeking from the wall trick, and I still get beamed because I'm slow, because I don't understand strafing. Hindsight's 2020. It's easy to see how bad of a player I am watching it in post, but in the moment, let me tell you, I was jazzed. I was excited. I felt like I was doing really good, and I just wanted to share this. But I do think that people that are about my level of expertise could get enjoyment from this. But yeah, here I am. It's a lot of fast forwarding, and it's a lot of me grabbing poopy gear and trying to get any type of money for it. But it's a process. I learned that Zweihander's Zweihander, even if it has +1 all, it's still crap. Nobody wants it. No one's gonna be interested in it. Which, yeah, it's all fine. It's all fine, right? I end up using the Zweihander, and that also leads to my opinion on it being a trash weapon. It is nice that you can use a longer sword as a warlock. I'm really enjoying warlock. I started my sort of dark and darker adventure as a barbarian. Barbarian's great too. After watching this footage, kind of feel like maybe I should just stick with a character. But that's game 1. Game 1, nice, juicy, 227 gold. Right into game 2. Different map layout. I believe this is the high roller Goblin Caves that has just been sort of transplanted into regular dungeon. Here I am just casting some spells, being a dark wizard, trying not to get hit, and just kind of making my way through the dungeon. I don't know if it's just this map and it's specifically designed for you to eat more gas, but here I hear a person. I assume there's going to be a fight. I'm really panicking right now on my end of things. I don't think I've ever won a PvP fight in this game. If I have, it's been with my friends and they weakened them. But solo, I mean, not the best. At the time, I thought that keeping the goblin between us was good. Reviewing the footage, it seems like that might have been the right play. However, I just need to be a little bit more agile. I was able to dodge a good bit of the bullet, but right there, I eat one in the back of the head. And if this guy was a little bit more competent, I see that he has Victory Strike on. He definitely would have, had me for dinner for sure. He's getting a little bit, courageous, trying to push me, but I know that he has a portal open, and I know that the play here, I have enough common sense and awareness now. I need to make my position known. I need to be a little bit sticky. I need to be a little bit more resilient. My nature, fight or flight. My nature is always going to be flight. Get me the hell out of there. Get me gone. I want to get my fake gold and I want to leave. I don't want to fight you because you're probably better than me. But feeling real good about that. Put him in his place. now I get to have the reward of selling all my complete and utter junk. And you know I gotta try and make 50 gold off of a 4-slot item 3 times in a row to try and get another 150 gold, and I don't do it because all of them are trash. Every single thing I grabbed. I would think that, like, you know, physical damage would be important to the class that deals the most physical damage, but it just isn't. There's still a lot that I have to learn about the game, and that's why we do this, right? It's the whole reason that I'm making these videos too. It's a quest to improve. Every day you can be a little bit better at something, and I'm really enjoying D&D as a hobby. Here we are, going into another Goblin Caves run. This will be the 3rd one, I believe. And this is similar to the game that I just played as far as where I've spawned. It's nice because in my head immediately I recognize this and I'm thinking, okay, now I get redemption to try and take out this bola goblin and this mosquito, a little poison gas mosquito. But first I need to clear this room. I've never really used Flame Walker until this point, and I'm really digging the utility of Flame Walker, not just for mob clearing, but I also use it as a disincentive to try and push me, like what I did in the last fight. And ridiculously long sword, slap, and I feel like I've got redemption for the last game. How easy that bola goblin had me, just so low HP, so low. But we can move on, open these chests, and continue grubbing. Just nom 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 nom. I hear them footsteps. I know someone's around. I see a dead wizard, gotta loot it. Gotta be a goblin. This is a great example of why we do this, right? I am in post and I'm seeing that my gameplay is poor. Bad judgment call. Should have round this corner and see the ranger waiting for me, right? Try to give him the friendly dance. He's not friendly. That's fine. If you don't want to be friendly in Goblin Caves, you shouldn't be. This is a PvP game. He's confused by my play. I am too. I was panicking, honestly, but let you know, the static extract is open. My goal is not you, Ranger. I stick around to see what he has. Of course, he's trying to PvP. The man has 0 things in his coffers, and the game is just about over. GG's to that dude. Thanks for not being too aggressive. You let my dream continue. Here we are, back to sell off our wares. You know, a lot of this gear is just so utterly useless. Like, am I a shoe collector? What's the goal here, man? I think the biggest takeaway that I'm getting from reviewing this back is really prioritize trinkets and treasure. Helmets, weapons, unless it's got really good rolls, don't even like try. Don't even experiment with it. The space you have is so valuable, and the money you can make is finite, especially when you are just grubbing around in the regular Goblin Caves. It's a different story when you start doing, you know, crypts or even high roller crypts. The drops are different, the opportunities are better, but yeah, lesson learned here from these 5 games in Goblins. You got to be mighty lucky to get anything that's of use, or not of use, but of value more so than anything. Here we are, jumping into the next game. I love this spawn. This is my favorite spawn in all of the Goblin Caves. And the reason why I love this spawn, and I'm praying for it every time I play, is because of the giant centipede. And the giant centipede is yum yum juicy. It is a easy mini boss for me, at least, and I almost always get good loot. So here I am. Here's the full fight. I'd like to think that I know his attacks well, but he still does a number on me, and you will see. I am extremely vulnerable taking this fight. For a player who's like, you know, not the best, he's like MLG, mediocre league instead of major league, you're definitely going to want to avoid that neon pink on the ground. I don't think I touched it, but the game registered I did, and it ate a third of my HP, so very punishing. Also, he does this spray attack with poison. I am obviously dodging it wrong, but this is the way that I've seen others do it. And also, this is the way I've been told to do it by the two buddies I have who play this game. So, if you have some advice on how I can avoid this man's spit, then that would be really useful for me. Just please send me a message or write it in the comment. And I am so low here. What happened to that confidence I had at the start of this fight? Give him the whirly-durly with the big blade. And he is Dunzo. Great necklaces. Well, I say great necklaces, but it's just the best loot that I got this day. And, you know, take your wins where you get them, right? Alright. I hear someone. 2 people, to be exact. And I noticed in the pregame lobby there were 2 people being mighty friendly. It looked like a fighter and a cleric. So again, here I'm taking principles that I learned from the previous game, where the best deterrent is standing my ground. I know that I don't stand a snowball chance in hell against these 2 dudes, but I know that if I'm obviously a pain in their side, there's a chance that they don't push. Here on my end, I'm panicking. I hear more people. I drink that invis. I look up and look at that guy. He's just looking at me. It's just pure luck that he doesn't jump down. I would have been the freest kill in the world for him, and he didn't do it. But this is another reason why I keep coming back to Goblin Caves. Like, if you're not a good player, I understand that the appeal of having a team, it's mighty nice, but there's so much more for you to learn and actually improve on as far as like the intricacies of, you know, better skill if you go Goblin Caves. Like, just sign up for the punishment. Once you get into it, it's actually really fun and kind of invigorating. Like right now, my heart rate, I got a little Fitbit, my heart rate is reading like 110. I'm freaking out. Like, I'm gaming, boys. Like, this is, it's ridiculous because, you know, it seems so trivial and it's such a slow-paced game. Like, your movement speed is so slow, but it really does give you that feeling like you're doing something special. I love the extract component to this. I really do. I managed to get out. Lucky me. That is really the biggest consistency you'll notice in these games. I was able to exfil 7 times in a row because of factors beyond my control, and all of them had to deal with luck. But hey, take your W's where you can get them. I stuck around to see what those guys had. They were definitely more geared than me. It was a doomed to fail fight, in my opinion. I don't think there's any way I could have won that. Glad that I backed out. Glad that I did my little rat strap. Organizing, putting money away. I make decent money, but still not as good as the first run. All in all, I'm sitting at about 500 gold profit. Now is where I'm like, okay, time to kick up the skill a little bit, the skill requirement a little bit. Let's go into the crypts. This is regular crypts. If you've noticed, I've been playing in Tokyo. I've got crazy bad lag. I'm on the East Coast, but this was recorded last week on a day where servers were getting DDoSed, which, you know, since early release, DDoSing has been a tumultuous story for Dark and Darker. But, you know, you just roll with the punches. Playing in Tokyo really isn't all that bad. I do feel like, comparative to the East Coast, the player base in Tokyo tends to be more friendly, which is probably another contributing factor to why I had this string of success. But just clear up that room and I continue on. Something to note, a lesson that I learned, a little takeaway: when you're a solo and you don't have the strongest gear or much damage output, and you're playing crypts, you really need to prioritize the zone and the way that it pulls. Just play circle and be patient with the loot. I think that all too often I get a little bit too greedy about the loot. Like, I think it's natural too. I mean, why would you go to the 3-man dungeon to just get out with nothing and fight no one? You know, there's that constant pressure to get the gems, the shinies, the giblets. But don't do it. Don't do it unless you got a team. You got to be able to rely on people. I'm going to open this center chamber up. This does put you in a really vulnerable position because you're just kind of like a fish in a fish tank. It's easier for people to hit you than for you to hit people, unless of course they just W key right into you. So I'm very nervous right now, but I really didn't feel like the other options of my wrap or rotation were any better. And I honestly saw this as an opportunity to try to clear a bunch of mobs, get the loot, and get it. I kind of wanted to do Inferno, but after how pieced up I've been getting by mobs in just this game, and not even being able to hit my curses, I think it's a sign. Hey, you know, you see a blue portal, maybe you should just focus the blue portal. Maybe you should give up your dreams on going red. At least this game. And you know, I'm not gonna lie, in the back of my mind, constantly, this whole time, this entire game, I'm just kind of expecting to die. This was the first time that I've ever made it, like, out of the dungeon exfilled more than 3 times in a row. And so I just feel as though I'm on borrowed time. Got a whole lot of anxiety. And it's kind of funny to think back and look at this. And I think I maybe missed that lion's head in the other room. Maybe think that it was not a lockpick, and I just, in the moment, assumed it was because of, you know, general anxiety and me freaking out about being so successful. All right, popping it in. Here's the gems, give me the coin. Made about 85, 90 off of that. Trading in the silver, you know, polishing up loose ends and everything like that. And here I am trying to sell the big stick again. I end up just saying goodbye to it for 11 gold. Get it out of here. Get it out of here. And finally, the moment that I've been grinding for the previous hour and a half. I really didn't have any intent on doing HR. On this particular day, my 2 filthy casuals along with me were going to get on and we were going to do some filthy casual trios. But I don't remember the circumstance. They couldn't game and I still had the hankering to. And you know, one thing led to another and fortune, good luck, shined upon me. Love this room. As far as the crypts go, this is probably my favorite spawn for crypts, just because the loot potential is so good. Lion's Head could spawn where that chest was that I just walked by, and there's also 3 chests hidden away behind some bases that are always good to me. Not to mention all these bases. Whenever I play HR, the bases tend to drop like greens and blues, single slot sellables, which that's good money. Can't complain. My thought process here on Flamewalker over Hellfire is that the utility for Flamewalker is a lot higher, potentially, than Hellfire. Hellfire, I like that it's a projectile, and I like that you can cheese mobs in Inferno, but Firewalker, I think that it's overall a little bit more useful because I can clear mobs, and it's also a great deterrent to closing space from enemies. I can almost always keep people away from me, and that lets me just, think about how I'm going to engage in close combat or get away or actually cast spells because I am a caster class. I know there's a crossbow guy here. I know that crossbow guys do lethal amounts of damage, and wouldn't you know it, a battle axe skeleton. Since this recording, and because of how scary this battle axe skeleton was, I have since entered a regular game and practiced my strafing with him, which, if there is any advice for, players that aren't that great that you could take away from another player who isn't that great, you're definitely going to want to learn how to kite. It's a big deal. It's fundamental, some would say. Looting these bad boys now because I feel like I might as well. I was worried about zone pushing me in, and now here we go for the rematch, the crossbow guy. I'm gonna peek this corner, and I'm gonna blast him. I'm gonna get him. Okay, dodging a hit. Another hit. And another dodge. At this point, I expect him to die. So I ate another hit. And it's in the arm, and it still does almost half my health. So, is there really any winning? I did not know that you needed a special key to open that door. I thought that I was just going to come across the juiciest loot of all time, and I was a little bit let down, not going to lie to you. But now that I know about the key and how much money that key fetches, it's unfortunate, but I probably won't ever get into that room unless I'm with more capable players, or I just get another absolute dumb stroke of luck, kind of like this series of games. So, I guess I should say you never know. Maybe one day I'll find myself in the golden key room, and maybe the loot will be worth it. And if you are particularly observant, you will probably deduce already that a lot of these games that I'm playing, my spawns and my rotations are pretty similar, and it's because I am a creature of habit. When I find something that works, I try to just keep doing that. So here I am in this room again, and albeit potentially precarious, it has been good to me as far as loot goes and my ability to clear the mobs in here. So I figure, why mess with a good thing? Might as well just keep on rocking with this little room, this module right here. However, counter to last time, a little bit different than last time, I've taken these mobs over to a cheese spot in the corner of the room. My thought process at the time was there's a couple of doorways on this side. Maybe I am more mobile, more flexible to get away from potential would-be PvPers. I don't really know if that was the right call, but it just ended up working out for me, so that's cool. Make sure to get the lion's head this time. It matters most in HR. I get a juicy bonk staff supreme, a nice little wizard hat, some single slot sellables. I drop the beer for a pickaxe that I will never use. I am not a miner. I know there's great money to be made with it, but there's so much about this game that I could stand to improve on. I do not need to be focusing on mining. It's also not fun for me. I don't want to mine because I already have trouble hearing people. I don't know. If my decision on mining is wrong, please let me know. But it seems as though it's totally not worth it for someone who's this level of skill. It seems like it's worth it for someone who's maining rogue, playing ruins, and going strictly for the gold and buying, like, I don't know, ingot worth kits, rather than me, who's scrounging around in trade chat waiting for someone not to sell their gear and then offering them 50 gold. And that's how my kits are made. I get out of my first ever game of solo crypts high roller. Super nice. Not gonna complain. I am definitely alt-tabbing right now and telling the boys on Discord that they should have played tonight because I just got some juice. And it's not even really that juicy, but I got some gear. It's really good gear for me. I've maybe worn a purple like a dozen times. So I was really stoked about getting this. Multiple purples. And then here I am just showing the gear that I got and really trying to digest what I got. I wasn't really paying attention to the stats. Honestly, when I was in the dungeon, I was like, ooh, colors. And they're purple. And that must mean it's good. So I was just, shoving it in my backpack or pants or whatever the character keeps the items. But yes, this was a fun one. This was a great little session of gaming. It was end of the day. It was almost 2 hours, and it was just a really successful gameplay loop for me. This is the final clip. This is the 7th game. This was the game after that. This is how I died. I panicked, basically. I run over the spike traps. I don't even see them because I'm focused tunnel vision on that blue torch. I know there's people there. And so I'm freaking out because I don't want to see them. You see me, I look like a lick, like a tasty little ice cream cone because you got yourself and 2 buddies and it's just me. And it's obvious that I'm bad because I'm going to immediately run away. I ain't standing my ground. And I'm just still panicking. I hear footsteps on the left. I know there's a scaly champ on the right. I'm thinking that I have the resourcefulness of a rogue. Obviously, I do not. 1 HP. I'm freaking out. I'm hooting. I'm hollering. And then, again, I don't notice a spike trap. GG's.